Carter's secret unravels a betrayal that changes everything. Carter Walton has been through heartbreak before, but nothing quite compares to the gut-wrenching moment when his world crumbles beneath him after his relationship with Hope Logan came to an unexpected end. The Forrester executive found himself adrift in a sea of painful memories and regret. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and the walls of his office seemed to close in on him with every passing day. That's when Daphne Rose appeared in his life like a ray of sunshine breaking through storm clouds. At first, Carter didn't see her as anything more than a caring friend. She was there whenever he needed someone to talk to, always ready with a sympathetic ear and words of encouragement. Daphne listened as Carter poured out his soul, recounting every moment he treasured with Hope and every mistake he believed he had made. She brought him coffee on his darkest mornings, left encouraging notes on his desk, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, became the one person he looked forward to seeing. "You know, Carter, Hope didn't deserve someone as loyal and genuine as you," Daphne had whispered to him one evening, as they sat in the quiet of Forrester's empty lobby. "You're going to find someone who appreciates you for exactly who you are." As weeks turned into months, something shifted between them. The comfort transformed into something deeper, warmer, more intoxicating. Carter began to notice the way Daphne's eyes lit up when she saw him. He started finding reasons to extend their coffee breaks, to linger a moment longer when their hands touched before either of them fully acknowledged what was happening. They had crossed the line from friendship into something romantic, the beginning of something new. Carter and Daphne officially became a couple, and for the first time in what felt like forever, Carter allowed himself to believe that happiness was possible again. He took her to dinner at the finest restaurants in Los Angeles, bought her flowers and whispered promises of a brighter future. Daphne seemed to bring out the best in him. She made him laugh, made him believe in love again, and most importantly, made him feel seen and valued. "I never thought I could feel this way again," Carter confessed to Daphne as they danced slowly in his apartment one evening. "Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." Daphne rested her head against his chest, and for a moment everything seemed perfect. They were planning trips, discussing their future, and Carter was already imagining where this relationship might lead. He had even begun thinking about taking things to the next level, about making their relationship permanent, but perfection, as it so often does, was merely an illusion waiting to shatter. The discovery that changes everything had happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Carter had borrowed Daphne's laptop to send her some files from a work project. When he opened it, he noticed an email notification that made his blood run cold. The subject line read, "Ray divorce proceedings with trembling hands." Carter clicked on it, not wanting to believe what he was reading, but unable to stop himself. The email was from a French law firm discussing the legal proceedings for Daphne's divorce, but it was the date that struck him hard, as the proceedings had been ongoing for nearly 2 years, which meant Daphne had been married while they were together. Worse, there were photographs attached to another email below it showing Daphne with a man and a young child labeled as her family. Carter's world tilted. His breathing became shallow. He checked the timestamps obsessively, his mind racing to comprehend how this could have happened. The woman he had opened his heart to, the woman who had consoled him through his pain, had been living a lie. The confrontation. When Daphne arrived at his apartment that evening, Carter was waiting for her by the door. His expression a mixture of hurt and barely contained rage. He didn't bother with pleasantries. "Who are you?" he asked coldly, his voice cutting through the air like a blade. "And what the hell have you been doing with me?" Daphne's face went pale. She knew immediately that he had discovered her secret. "Carter, please. Let me explain." "Explain what?" Carter interrupted, his voice rising. "That you're married, that you have a child, that this entire relationship has been one massive lie." "I was preparing to divorce him," Daphne said quickly, her voice desperate and shaky. "I'm going through the proceedings right now. It's complicated, Carter. I wanted to tell you, but what?" Carter demanded. "You didn't think I had a right to know that I was helping you break up your family, that I was the other man in someone else's marriage?" Daphne reached out toward him. "It's not like that. My marriage has been over for years. We don't love each other. We haven't for a long time. The divorce is already in motion." "Stop," Carter said, raising his hand. "Stop making excuses. You lied to me. You lied every single day. You comforted me while you were already someone else's wife. Do you understand what that makes me do? You understand what that makes us?" His voice had become dangerously quiet, and Daphne's eyes filled with tears. "Carter, please, I love you. The feelings I have for you are real. Carter laughed bitterly. "Nothing about this is real. Our entire relationship is built on a foundation of deception." Daphne moved toward him again, but Carter held his ground. Years of hurt and betrayal welled up inside him. He thought of all the times he had believed her, trusted her, opened his heart to her when he was at his most vulnerable. He thought of how foolish he had been walking straight into the arms of someone who is never truly free to give her heart to him. The breaking point in that moment of intense emotion as Daphne reached out for him again. Her words of apology and explanation flowing desperately from her lips. Carter did something he had never done before. His hand came up suddenly, and he slapped her across the face. The sound echoed through the apartment like a gunshot. Daphne gasped, her hand flying to her cheek, tears streaming down her face. And in that single moment, Carter realized what he had done. The rage that had fueled his action drained away, leaving only a hollow emptiness behind. Carter started. His voice broken, "I shouldn't have, I'm sorry. Daphne, I shouldn't have done that." But even as the apology left his lips, Carter knew that striking her had only revealed the depth of his pain and anger. It had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. "Get out," he said quietly, turning away from her. "I can't look at you right now." The end. Over the following days, Carter tried to rationalize everything. Daphne insisted that her divorce was moving forward, that she truly was going to be free from her husband, that once the proceedings were complete, everything would be different. To give their relationship another chance to understand that her feelings for him were genuine, even if her circumstances were complicated. But Carter couldn't move past the betrayal. He couldn't forget the fact that while he was opening his heart to her, she had a husband and child waiting for her in France. He couldn't accept a relationship built on such fundamental dishonesty. No matter how sincerely she apologized or how desperately she promised to change, "I can't do this," Carter said firmly when they met one last time. "Even if you divorce him tomorrow, even if you become completely single, I can't be with you. You made me complicit in deceiving another person. You made me the reason a family was torn apart. I can't live with that, and I can't be with someone who could do that to me. So that's it." "Daphne," asked her voice barely above a whisper, "you're just throwing away everything we had." Carter closed his eyes. What we had was an illusion. Daphne, and illusions never last. As Daphne left his apartment for the last time, Carter was left alone with his thoughts, nursing a heart that had been broken. Not once but twice. He had thought Daphne was his salvation, his path forward after hope. Instead, she had become another painful chapter in a story of betrayal and heartbreak. Carter understood now that sometimes the greatest pain comes not from losing someone, but from discovering that the person you lost them to was never who you thought they were. The road to healing would be long, but at least now Carter could walk it knowing the truth. Next, we will learn about the explosive custody battle brewing over with Spencer's unborn child, and how Katie Logan's dream of raising her grandchild could be utterly destroyed by an unexpected rival. The Bold and the Beautiful has unleashed a shocking storyline that has Katie Logan convinced she'll be raising her grandchild. But another grandmother lurking in the shadows might have entirely different plans, and that grandmother is none other than Poppy Nozawa. Katie Logan has completely convinced herself that Luna Nozawa and Will Spencer's baby belongs in her arms, and nothing will change her mind about this situation. The moment Bridget Forster conducted that paternity test and definitively proved Will was the biological father, Katie's maternal instincts kicked into overdrive, and she immediately began making plans for the child's future. Katie wasted no time informing Will that she and his father, Bill Spencer, would assume full responsibility for raising their grandchild, allowing Will to continue pursuing his dreams, maintain his relationship with Electra Forrester, and completely erase Luna Nozawa from his memory, as if that horrific night never happened. The circumstances surrounding this pregnancy are absolutely devastating and cannot be ignored. Will never intended to become a father at this stage of his life, and the conception occurred under the most disturbing circumstances imaginable. Luna deliberately got Will intoxicated and took advantage of him in a state where he couldn't possibly consent to what was happening. Will had absolutely no willing participation in this pregnancy whatsoever, and consent was completely absent from the equation that night. Will genuinely believed he was being intimate with Electra, the woman he actually cares about, and he never would have touched Luna or any part of her if he had been in his right mind and aware of what was truly happening. Bill and Katie are united in their determination to prevent Luna's manipulative scheme from destroying their son's future and derailing everything he's worked toward. Recently, Bill made a heartfelt confession to Katie, telling her that he still loves her deeply and asking her to come home to him and rebuild what they once had. After years of turning Bill down repeatedly, whenever he attempted to reconcile their broken relationship, Katie finally relented and agreed to give him another chance. Katie acknowledged that despite all his flaws and mistakes, she knows deep down that Bill is fundamentally a good man with a capacity for change. Whether that assessment is accurate remains debatable, and viewers certainly have the right to agree or disagree with Katie's judgment, but she does recognize and appreciate how much Bill genuinely loves his family. Even if his actions don't always reflect that love, Bill has demonstrated both incredible devotion and terrible judgment when it comes to his family. Over the years, he's made decisions that hurt the people he claims to love most, yet he's also shown remarkable loyalty and protection when his family faces threats from outside forces. Right now, Bill envisions an incredible future unfolding before him as a couple with Katie and his parents to Will's baby, essentially getting a second chance at the family life they always wanted. This situation represents a complete redo of their relationship, offering them an opportunity to correct past mistakes and build something stronger. Katie and Bill always dreamed of having another child together, expanding their family beyond just Will. However, Katie's serious heart problems made another pregnancy medically inadvisable and potentially life-threatening. Bill was so concerned about Katie's health that he didn't even want her to continue with her pregnancy when she was carrying Will, fearing the physical strain could kill her. Now, decades later, Bill feels confident and optimistic that he and Katie will have no difficulty obtaining custody of the baby, and they've already planned to leave Luna imprisoned until she gives birth. Their strategy is brutally simple: wait for Luna to deliver Will's baby, immediately take custody of the child, and then leave Luna to serve out her 30 years to life sentence with no contact with her child whatsoever. However, something unexpected may completely derail Katie's carefully constructed plan, or more specifically, someone may emerge to sabotage everything she's envisioned. Katie probably won't see this blindside coming. If the storyline unfolds in the direction many viewers are predicting, Luna could orchestrate an epic counterattack designed specifically to ensure that Bill and Katie never get their hands on her child. Luna is intelligent enough to understand exactly what will happen if her child ends up in Bill and Katie's custody. The child will either grow up never knowing Luna's name, or Katie will deliberately poison the child's mind against Luna, teaching the child to despise and reject their biological mother. Either scenario results in Luna being completely cut off from her child, never getting to see the baby grow up or participate in any meaningful way in the child's life. Interestingly, Romy Park has returned to the bold and the beautiful set, and has been spotted filming new scenes. This development means Poppy is coming back into action very soon, and her turn timing couldn't be more strategic. Speculation is building that Luna and Poppy might collaborate on a plot to ensure custody of the baby goes to Poppy instead of Katie, effectively keeping the child within Luna's biological family. Poppy may see massive dollar signs in this arrangement, which would certainly motivate her to agree to the plan. During a previous prison visit, Poppy actually applauded Luna's calculated move of getting pregnant by a wealthy heir, showing she understands the financial implications. Viewers should expect Poppy to visit Luna again very soon to discuss strategy and options. By the end of this week's episodes, Luna is actively hatching a plan to escape from prison and reclaim control of her life. If her escape attempt fails, or if Luna gets caught and dragged back to prison in handcuffs, she'll be forced to completely rethink her strategy. Once Luna fully accepts that she's never getting out of prison and will never have a future with Will Spencer, she may shift her priorities entirely. Luna could decide that having Poppy raise her child is infinitely preferable to allowing Bill and Katie to take custody. At least if the child is with Poppy, Luna knows she'll maintain some connection and get to see her child during prison visits. Even if those visits occur from behind reinforced glass and through monitored phone calls, there is a legitimate chance that Luna could successfully sway the court and exercise considerable decision-making power regarding who receives custody of her child. Poppy might genuinely win custody of the baby if she and Luna strategically expose all of Katie and Bill's past mistakes and relationship dysfunction in custody court. Poppy might genuinely want another opportunity at motherhood, seeing this as her chance to redeem the catastrophic mistakes she made while raising Luna. However, more realistically, Poppy's primary motivation would be securing a substantial pile of child support payments from the Spencer family fortune that she could spend on herself and her lifestyle. Poppy would not be doing this altruistically or out of pure maternal love. The financial windfall would be her driving motivation. Luna might voluntarily sign her parental rights over to Poppy specifically to screw Katie and Bill over in retaliation for their threats. Bill and Katie told Luna flat out, without any subtlety or compassion, that they were planning to snatch her kid the moment the baby was born. Luna may argue persuasively in court that Bill and Katie are fundamentally unfit to raise her baby based on their documented history. Luna could bring up the disturbing fact that Bill repeatedly demanded, pressured, and practically begged her to terminate the pregnancy, showing his lack of respect for the unborn child's life. If Luna's legal team discovered that Bill also pressured Katie to have an abortion when she was pregnant with Will years ago, that pattern of behavior could represent another massive red flag against him in custody proceedings. Luna could also systematically dismantle the argument that Katie and Bill represent a stable couple capable of providing a secure home environment. She could point out that they just recently got back together after years of separation, and their reconciliation conveniently coincided with the revelation about the baby. Bill's well-documented history of repeatedly cheating on Katie with her own sister, Brooke Logan, demonstrates a complete lack of loyalty and moral character. Luna could even argue persuasively that Katie only got back together with Bill as part of a calculated strategy, faking a reunion specifically to strengthen their custody case and take Luna's baby away. The court might actually find this argument credible and compelling, especially if Luna's attorney presents evidence of the suspicious timing of their reconciliation. This custody battle is shaping up to be one of the most explosive and emotionally devastating storylines The Bold and the Beautiful has produced in years, with multiple grandparents competing for control and a baby's future hanging in the balance.